It is so cold outside today, and all I can think about is a yummy, warm bowl of soup. So today in Renee's kitchen, we're gonna make one of my favorites. It is baked potato soup. It is so easy to make, and people think baked potato soup is complicated, and people tend to only get baked potato soup when they go out to eat at a restaurant, but I'm gonna show you just how simple it is to make. Your family's gonna love it. I know everybody in my family loves it, and on a cold winter's day, it is perfection. So let's get going. Let's get in the kitchen and make baked potato soup. In today's video, I'm gonna make enough soup to serve 3 or 4 people, depending on how hungry they are. So if you have a bigger family or wanna have a bunch of leftovers, you may wanna double this recipe. So to get started, I need 2 carrots, a yellow onion, and about 5 medium-sized russet potatoes. So I'm gonna get my potatoes and my carrots washed, peeled, and then we're gonna dice them up for our soup. I wanna dice my 2 carrots fairly small so that they'll cook pretty quickly and evenly. I don't want big chunks of carrot in my soup. This is really just here for flavor. That's why small diced pieces are best. Pollux, I dropped a piece of carrot. I'm gonna put my carrots over here to the side. Now that my carrots are all diced up, I'm gonna dice up 1 small yellow onion. Now we're gonna dice our russet potatoes. And again, pretty small dice size. Well, cutting up everything is the hardest part about this recipe, I promise. But now we're ready to head over to the stove with our potatoes and our carrots and onions. So your potatoes don't have to be perfect. We're gonna smash them up later anyway. So earlier I fried up about 10 slices of bacon, but I reserved my bacon grease. I've had my Dutch oven on my stovetop, and I have had the heat on about medium, just so that it's nice and warm. So I add about 2 tablespoons of my bacon grease. Oh shoot, let's just do 3. For good measure, right? Bacon grease is never a bad thing. If you don't have bacon grease or don't want to use bacon grease or did your bacon in the oven, you can absolutely use butter instead of bacon grease. I'm a country girl, so I'm gonna use my bacon grease. So I'm gonna give my bacon grease just a minute to heat up, and then I'm gonna add in my carrots and my onions. And I'm gonna let these saute for, 3, 4, 5 minutes until they start to get soft. I don't wanna overcook them, I don't wanna brown them, I just want them to begin to soften. My carrots and onions have been cooking for about 5 minutes. They're soft, my onions are translucent. So now I'm gonna add in all of my potatoes. Stir it together really good and let everything cook for about another 5 minutes. Just to get a head start on your potatoes before we add our liquid. So my potatoes are starting to soften a little bit. They got a good head start here in the pot with the carrots and the onions. So I want to season everything really well with pepper and kosher salt. And this is a lot of potatoes, so be generous with your salt. Give it another good stir. And add in 6 cups of vegetable broth or chicken broth, whichever you prefer. We want to bring this up to a low boil, and once it gets to the boil, we're going to let it go for 10 minutes. This is what I mean by a low boil. You can just see it percolating in there, but it's not all crazy over the top boiling. So let it go for 10 minutes just like that, and then we'll check our potatoes. While my potatoes are boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my bacon into little crispy bits, because this is what we're gonna use to top our soup with. course, when I was frying up my bacon, I had to make a couple extra pieces for my dogs, Maxie and Pollux. So while my soup is boiling, I'm going to give them their bacon treat. Everybody happy? You got bacon? I don't have any more, guys. That was it. So it's been 10 minutes. I'm going to check my potatoes, and as long as they will kind of crumble when I press on them with my spoon, you want them to be tender, no crunchy potatoes. If yours are still crunchy, let them go another 2 or 3 minutes. You can pull out a big piece like that and just test it with your spoon. See how it crumbles up? That means it's soft, totally ready to proceed on with the soup. So next you need 1 3/4 cup of milk. Add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour to your milk, and then whisk your flour really well into your milk. This is what's going to thicken our soup. So slowly add your milk and flour mixture into your soup, kind of giving it an easy whisk as you do to incorporate this into your soup. And we're going to let our soup cook for another 5 minutes. So we're almost there. Soup's almost ready. And this is the important part and the fun part. You need a potato squisher, mashed potato masher, one of these things. I love to get the consistency I want of my potato soup with a smasher because it will squish my potatoes and mash them up into the liquid and give me a thick, creamy soup versus chopping it up with an immersion blender or putting it in a blender or leaving the potatoes whole. That makes it liquidy and chunky. I want a smooth and thick soup. So I'm just going to take my smasher and smash my potatoes until it's the consistency that I like. So turn your heat down just a little bit and easily smash your potatoes. Make sure you don't splash this on you. It's getting thick and creamy, but we still have little chunks of potatoes. So I'm just going to keep going a bit more and cream it up. So this is perfect. It is thick and creamy. The potatoes are smashed up in there. This is exactly how I like it. I like a little bit of a kick in my potato soup, so I'm going to put a dash of Sriracha, but you can totally leave that step out if your family does not like the spice. Then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of half and half cream. If you just want to go crazy, you can use heavy whipping cream. I'm sticking to my half and half. Give it a good stir in there. So I want to make sure my soup is on low, and I'm just going to let it sit here for another minute or two and heat up that cream. But look at that consistency. You can see little pieces of carrots and onion, and the potato is all creamy in the soup. And in a few minutes, we're going to be ready to put this in a big fat bowl. Now, this is the best part. Everybody in my house likes to top their potato soup a different way. So I always have cheddar cheese, bacon, sour cream, green onions, and a big bowl of beautiful potato soup. If you like your soup spicy, you could always do a pepper jack. So I'm just going to top the soup the way that I want it, and everybody else is going to make their own bowl, and then we're going to dig in. Let's see, in my bowl, I want a little bit of bacon. I mean, heck, who are we kidding? A lot of bacon. Cheddar cheese. A little dab of green onions. And a dollop of sour cream. Now it's time for the best part, the taste test. Look at this beautiful bowl of soup. It's wintertime goodness. It really is. Pure wintertime soup bliss in this bowl right here. There is nothing better than a hot, steaming, warm bowl of baked potato soup. You're welcome. I'll see you in another video in Renee's kitchen. You never know what I'm going to cook up next.